As I rode out one bright May morning to view the meadows and the flowers gay, whom should I spy but my own true lover, as she sat under yon willow tree? 'Tis bold as I unfold, keep up your gallant hearts, and think about those poachers bold that night in Rufford Park. A buck or doe, believe it so, a pheasant or a hare, was put on earth for everyone, quite equal for the share. So poachers bold as I unfold, keep up your gallant hearts, and think about those poachers bold that night in Rufford Park.
Cheers.
Thank
Here
you
we
very
go.
much, sir.
Yeah. Well, it's great to be here. Thanks for doing this. So,
down.
well, I don't know. It's a great album. So really, that's what I wanted. That's what I want to concentrate on.
No,
That's
I'm
okay.
happy with the album, the way it's come out. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm pleased anyway. Okay, well, here I am. I'm with Ken Wilson, and we're here to talk about his latest album, Portraits. Before we look at the CD, can I just ask you, how did you actually get into singing?
It's about 14, 15, I would say, still at school. And the brothers, Tom was down in London, but Chris and Steve started going out to the folk clubs locally, and then down to certain festivals, Whitby, local festivals, Durham's still going at that time. And they were just bringing this music back into the house, and I just cottoned onto it straight away. It's great. Yeah.
But I do get the impression that sometimes people think the Wilsons all live in a cave and sort of like write through books.
We did at that time. No. It seemed like a cave. It was a very small 3-bedroom house, but it wasn't very good for when there was 7 kids. So.
All right.
But it was a bit of a squash, but it was a good upbringing and everything was fine. But you were that close to your siblings that when they brought something in, like folk music, albums, stuff like that, it was with you straight away, you know. So it was. I was going to nightclubs and stuff, not at 14, 15, but 16, 17. I was going to nightclubs one night, and then next minute I'd be down out to a festival or folk club singing folk songs. Yeah.
So it sounds almost by osmosis that you're going to sing it. I mean, it's one of those things that folk music was like very popular, and there's loads of people have said they heard it and immediately they heard it. They were hooked.
Well, this was sort of the back end of the revival, the start of, the end of the revival of the late 50s, 60s. I was born in 60. So by the time we got to 70s, these revivalist singers would come along, but we also had the traditional singers, and I love the traditional singers. The album's half traditional, half contemporary.
It is, yes. Yeah, almost exactly.
Because I just love the traditional songs, but we still had the singers around at that time, like the Fred Jordans, Willie Scotts, Wally Paddens. They were still around and very much at the forefront of the folk scene at that time. You know. But you also had the revival singers. Yeah,
and it's funny, isn't it? Because I mean, at that time they were revered. You know, at an older generation who were sort of truly revered for the source material.
Yeah.
That they had, and not just the material, but the way that they actually sang.
Yeah, because these people, we'd never seen anybody from Shropshire or down in Cornwall.
Yeah.
We were hearing these songs. We heard the Geordie songs, and Graham Miles had written a lot about our local area, Teesside. So a lot of those songs, and Ronnie Angel as well. So we're hearing these songs through Vin Garbutt, Pete Betts, all the local singers were singing these songs. Yeah. But we also had these traditional songs come up from all over the country, all over the British Isles, Scotland and Ireland included.
Of course. Well, I mean, as you've done with this album, you've certainly taken some of the best from a wide variety of different traditions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the songs you've got is "As I Roved Out."
Yeah, that's a song I started singing a couple of years ago now, 3 or 4 years, but then it was sung by a lass who comes to the local folk club, so I didn't really sing it out that much. So it was probably dropped from my repertoire. With the family, we all have our own repertoire of songs. I mean, you know yourself, you come down the valley, it's very rare you hear the family sing together. So we all have our big repertoire of songs as well as the family songs.
Yeah, I've got to say I was quite surprised because, like, outside of the club, I have always seen you sort of sing together, and you've all got distinct, very distinct styles, choices as well, and ways of singing these songs.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to ask is, how hard is it when you're perhaps known as a family group? How hard is it to try and sort of strike out on your own, as it were?
Probably, I would say difficult, but it's not that difficult, I suppose, because everybody hears you sing. When we go to festivals, you might sing as a group, but then you'll be in sessions and stuff, so people are hearing you anyway. But I decided, I was asked to do an album, my first album, which was that one. It's 2007, I think I did that one. And it was called Not Before Time, because it was people saying it's about time you did your own sort of stuff. So I brought that out, and it went down really, really well. So, but I've not thought of another album, this one specifically, until last year. This time last year, I was taken very ill, problem with a ticker. And so I had to wait. I was put on the sick, still working, so I was put on the sick for 6 months, and I was waiting for an operation in April. So I started doing these drawings. It was the drawings that, it's a funny way around, but I started doing these drawings just to take my mind off things, and I found it was a bit therapeutic. And then Barry and Ingrid, who produced the album,
Barry and Ingrid
Temple from Newcastle, they produced the first album. And they said, well, how about putting some stuff down, not necessarily to bring an album out now, but we can put some stuff down and bring it out later on. But with the time I had on my hands, as well as the drawing, I just started putting these songs down. And there were songs that some I'd not recorded any before. I think there's one that I've recorded on the first album, a song called Children of the Earth, Brian Pearson wrote. And it's just always been one of my favourite songs, so I decided to redo that one. But yeah, I was picking the songs really from me, songs that are not recorded, but songs that are like, traditional. I want to make a traditional contemporary mix.
Dangerous territory there.
I know, yeah, but I've always liked traditional songs. But I also like contemporary songs that have a bit of meaning, working songs. Or there's a song there called Ghost Story, which is written by Jim Woodland, and it was a song about the Falklands War. And although the Falklands War is sort of, 80s, it still means a lot to me, that song. It's a really powerful song. And I learned it at a time, but there was lots of things going on in my life as well. My sons then, who were born in '84, they both went into the RAF, and one of them actually went down to the Falklands, spent a bit of time down there, and he said it's just a gorgeous, absolutely nature reserves and all this all over the place, and to think that it was getting blown to bits, it's just unbelievable.
I mean, the song itself has like echoes of Leon Russellson.
Yeah. It was done. I first heard it sung by Roy Bailey. Sadly left us now, but he was the first person I heard sing Ghost Story, and I went to see him, and he told me it was from Jim Woodland, who I know Janet Russell, who was Jim Woodland's partner, and we just got talking about it, and it's just a fantastic song. And all these the contemporary songs are the ones I've chose to put on the album. All means something, they're very good songs.
Well
well-written songs.
That's the kind of thing, but it has that traditional sound to it, which is very difficult to do, I think.
Yeah, but I think that comes out in whoever's singing them. If they've got a traditional background like myself, it probably comes across in whatever song you sing. So yeah, I think that's where the traditional thing comes from.
And it's a great start to a great album.
Yeah, I wanted to start that. I mean, it's got a great line. I've come here tonight to, to show you. It's a great start. It seemed the right song to start the album with.
I've come here tonight to tell you what all of you should know. I was murdered in the Falklands. I knew I shouldn't go. And when you tell the stories of why I died and how, don't say you've never seen a ghost, you're looking at one now. I walk back over the water just to take a look around, and I can see that nothing's altered since the day that I went down. The old are not defended, and the young don't get a start, but the rich get rich and richer. It's enough to break your heart. I slammed the doors in Downing Street, enough to raise the dead. Well, if I really died in vain, then something should be said. One night I woke the living, and she told me why I died.
You call the album Portraits, and I'm wondering whether there's a kind of a thread that is like a portrait of folk music, and the fact that all human life is within folk music, things like love and loss and war and those kind of things.
And everything's covered within the songs on the album. All of those eventualities, I suppose you could say. But yeah, it was portrait. It was mainly called. We were looking for a title for the album, and they are pictures. Songs are pictures of all sorts of things, which are evident in the album. But it was also the pictures that I've been doing, and it seemed natural just to put them both together, because the portraits that I've been doing. I started doing these drawings. I've drawn at school and art, college and stuff like that. But that was 20 odd years ago, and I've not done anything since.
Mm-hmm.
So this came natural. It was just something that I started watching a program on television. I think it was Portrait of the Year or something. And I can do better than that. So I started sketching these
It's always
drawings.
boy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I could do better than that.
So I started sketching the drawings, and I thought, well, it was taking my mind off things that were going on as well in my life. And then I started singing, putting these tracks down with Barry and Ingrid. And they just seemed natural. We were looking at titles, and they said, well, just call them Portraits. That's what it was.
Yeah, well, I've got to say, you've been sort of true to yourself, because you put your pencil where your mouth is, and you've done so many different portraits of people within the folk scene.
Yeah, but I've done mainly of the folk. I started the earlier ones of the family. I've done one of my mum and my dad and Chris, the wife Chris, and the kids, grandkids, and it's nice to have those down, for them to give to them really.
Yes.
But then I started doing people on the folk scene, and the response has been fantastic.
It has.
I've put them all on Facebook, and the response is really, really good.
How wonderful. Well, another one of the songs that you've got is, you've heard from Tony Rose, somebody I think who touched us all with his character, his singing, he's just stage persona, to be honed.
Yeah.
And his openness to sing quite a wide variety of songs.
He was around at that time when I first started, and he was just fantastic, a lovely voice. From Somerset. He was another accent. Not heard these accents before in the folk song. But he was one of the singers, revivalist singers. And he was singing some of these fantastic songs, and we were hearing them on these albums. Never seen them, obviously getting the albums first. And then I met him, and he was just such a nice guy, And he was part-time folk singing. He was teacher and whatever. Did packed it in a couple of times to try the folk sing, but always went back to teaching.
The number of people wind up saying, I'm going to make my fortune on the folk scene. I think you have to do it for other reasons.
So a lot of people do this degree course and find it's difficult to carry it on, but Right, good luck to them if they do.
Well, there's plenty of good people. I mean, Jim Causley. And,
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
You know, so you've got
John
quite,
Gordon Fair, you know.
yeah. Lots of people are coming from it. So tell me what it was about, like the Tony Rose song.
Yeah, it was a song, True Lovers. It's High Germany. There's lots of songs about High Germany, but this was one of his first albums, I think. And somehow I'd missed it because I do a lot of Tony Rose songs, but somehow I'd missed this one. So it was about 5-6 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. And I just came across it. I was just listening through some of his back catalogue, and it's just a fantastic song. It's got a bit of a range, which is probably why I left it first.
Yeah.
Because it's very long, wide range and so on. So you start off down here, and you're, but a fantastic song. It's got a nice beat, and it's really uplifting song, even though it's about wars and. Lovers trying to dress up and going off with these people who, these partners, wives, husbands, whatever, will go away for years and years and years at a time. Whereas you get the broken talking songs, which is,
usually like
you come back
6 to 10 years.
Unknown to them. So it's just a lovely song. So that's why I picked True Lovers, and that's on there. Along with a couple of, I'll do another couple of Tony Rose's songs. That we mentioned before, but yeah, that's one of my favourites on the album.
Oh, abroad as I was walking all along, when I heard a couple talking as they wandered all along. Says the young one to the fair one, bonny lass, I must away, for the king he has commanded us, and his orders we must obey. Oh, that's not what you promised me when first you did me beguile. Oh, you promised you would marry me, and if you got me with a child. So do not forsake, but pity on me take, for great is my woe. And through France, Spain, and even Ireland, it's along with you I'll go. Oh, the long and the weary travelling, the love will cause you for to weep. And the hills and the lofty mountains, love will blister your tender feet. And besides, you will not yield to lie out in the field with me the whole night long. And your parents would be angry, and if along with me you would come.
So there's almost a group kind of sound to this song, and the use of the bass synth in the bottom is very effective.
Yeah, we didn't want to put. We were looking at putting all sorts of stuff on it initially, because it was probably going to be, I don't know, be my last album or whatever. But you never know. But it just seems I wanted to make it quite a big album, and I had the time to spend on it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the studio and we're thinking of different things going on there, and that would be nice with a bit of fiddle.
Yes.
And Bunny was saying, I can get a bit of fiddle on the synthesizer.
Yes.
And I said, no, I just want somebody playing fiddle. Anyway, Stuart came to mind.
Yeah, Stuart
Hardy on, and he just puts a lovely. He plays on 2 tracks, and he just adds so much to that track there, True Lovers. Just makes it a totally different song. But we also had a bit of the synth, which just give it a nice background to the song all the way through.
Yeah. Did you record it all as a group, or did you do it as a bit at a
no,
time?
we were doing it bits at a time because I didn't want to get away from it being my solo singing voice album. So we're just adding bits and pieces. We use Barry and Ingrid because Barry and Ingrid, fantastic singers. So,
Absolutely.
and a lot of their songs have got choruses on them, so I wanted them to do the choruses as well as Chris, the wife, and they also got my sons on a couple of tracks as well, which was great. But yeah, I wanted to be the voice rather than anything else, but it just seemed those couple of tracks just naturally wanted something added to them, and the fiddle was great.
I mean, I think As I Roved Out, he sounds almost like, this is Stuart Hardy, sounds almost like a string quartet.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a very clever man and a great player.
He had a couple of fiddles and he was putting bits of fiddle on and putting on another one on top. And it just sounds fantastic. As you say, he's a really clever fiddle.
Very empathetic, and I do think that's Stuart's greatest gift, that he's understands what is needed, rather than in your face and over the top.
Yeah, and I think he's played, although he plays, I think it was a guitarist he plays with, I forget his name now, McLaughlin. Anyway. But they do play for certain singers as well, so he knows the voice.
And he's played with George Welsh.
So we give him a couple of tracks, and we said the ones that I wanted him to play on, and others as well, and he said, "Oh, this is great, great songs, and I'm sure I can do something with them." And what he came back with was absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Beautiful. You've used Barry and Ingrid, and it's Barry to do the recording and Ingrid to add her voice, and you've said already it's a family affair with your wife Chris and your sons on as well. Do you think the fact that Barry and Ingrid are so immersed in the scene and understand traditional music, do you think that enhanced the way that it was recorded?
Oh yeah, and they did a great job on the first album. So it was quite easy to go up there. They're very good friends of ours as well, so it was nice just to, it was very relaxing really. We just spent most of the time just chatting really. We stayed over, so it was sort of a weekend every now and then we would go up and just put a few tracks down, but mainly going out and just having a meal or whatever. But yeah, their sort of background in song mainly, with the harmonies, and it was just putting their bit to it. I didn't want it overpowering. There was certain ones that, because it was mainly chorus singing that I wanted. I didn't want the harmony. They're very into harmonies. And there were certain tracks that said, "Oh, what about this?" And I just said, "No, it's not natural enough." So we had to change it. But they were great. They just listened and put down what I asked really.
It must have been, I don't know, almost like a gift that you have somebody so sympathetic to what it is that you want to do, because quite often with a musician's ego, it's like, well, in that case, if you're not going to take what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, no, Barry's he's a lot better than that. He's sort of, he listens to what you want down, he understands what you want down. But he's also, he's put a bit of concertina on the album. But as I say, I get back to it, he just wanted to be the voice really.
It's overcome the young lady fair, was a walking out afore to take the air. She met a sailor all on her way, so I paid attention. So I paid attention to hear what they did say. And said, "William, why do you walk alone? For the day is done and the night is come." Said she, as tears from her eyes did fall, "'Twas the dark-eyed sailor. 'Twas the dark-eyed sailor as proved my downfall. It's 7 long years since he left the land, when he took the gold ring from off his hand."
So you've got, I would say it's almost 50-50, sort of contemporary and traditional songs. You've chosen one that was Ewan MacColl's, one of his last written songs. The Joy of Living.
I'm not a massive fan of Ewan MacColl, really, I never have been, although he's a fantastic writer. But The Joy of Living, it was learned as a family song. My mum died in 2003, and we learnt it for Mum's funeral. She asked for the song to be sung at the funeral. So we learnt it as a family song. But then Mike, my brother Mike, and myself sang it all. We carried on singing it, and it was dropped from the family repertoire for whatever reason. Probably a difficult song to sing for 5 voices, but it just means a lot to me. I just needed that one to be on the album as well. It's a fantastic song.
Farewell, ye northern hills, ye mountains, all goodbye. Moorland and stony ridges, crags and peaks, goodbye. Glitterfack, farewell, Colbeg, Scarfell, cloud-bearing Sylvan. Sun-warmed rock on the cold of Billyclaw's frozen sea. The snow and the wind and the rain of hills and mountains. Days in the sun and the tempered wind and the air like wine.
To a certain extent with that song, I find that it's really sort of like extolling the virtues of the natural environment, and also like a reflection on their lives as well. So
yeah, it was a song. He wrote it in mind that it's come at the end of his life, or somebody who's come to the end of their life, who's enjoyed the outdoors, walking. There's a lot of nature involved, but it's it's a song that sort of means a lot to a lot of people. I sing it all over the place, and the amount of people that just end up in tears, floods of tears at the end. Not because of me singing, but
yeah, I used to love that song.
But yeah, I mean, I did an interview when it first came out. It's been out since July, the album, and I did a radio tease, and there was people ringing in saying, floods of tears, and it's just a really powerful song. I mean, it means the same to me.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
When I first started singing, I could hardly hold the tears back.
Do you not think that's like the sign of a good song, that if you find it difficult because it's so emotionally charged, that you have to overcome that.
As long as it's not too difficult to sing, that's fine.
Yeah.
When I first started singing it, it did mean too much really, and it was difficult to sing. But I find it easier to sing now, and it just means a lot to me. So I put it on every gig that I do. Solo gig that I'll do, I'll put that song in. So hopefully it'll come back into the family, and the family will get their heads around it and get 5 voices, because it just makes that much more powerful.
Yes. One of the things I was going to ask is, I know that you've used like Barry and Ingrid and quite a few other voices to enhance the choruses, like Chris and your kid. Did you ever fancy sort of like singing harmony with yourself?
Yeah, we were going to do that on one of the tracks. Can't remember what it was now, but it was a Tony Rose track, and it just sounded a lot like the way he did it on his album. So I dropped it straight away, but not really. There's far better harmony singers than me. I'm very much a melody singer anyway within the group, but I do sing bass harmony as well.
You do? I was going to say, like, what is your favourite key? I mean, do you just have to sort of like do what the rest of the family tells you?
I mean, Ingrid's really one for, she'll turn around to me and say, you just sing songs, you don't, because I don't have any pitch pipes or anything. I just start these songs off, and if they're slightly high or slightly low, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. That's the
I mean, it does when you record, and you'll get it in the right key. Because Barry will say, no, you want it in this key.
Yeah. I love that. That's a universal sign for getting into key.
Yeah. Key. Not that key.
Now, you don't just sort of tour with the family and by yourself. You also sing with, is it Jim McFarland?
Yeah, I met Jim about 15 years ago now. Excuse me. I met him in Whitby. There was a bunch of our Irish friends now that we'd never seen before over in Whitby one year. And we got on with a house on fire, like a house on fire, with a house on fire. And actually, they started coming over to me. I have a birthday due in January every year, and they started coming across to that as well. Yeah. But then I started, this Jim McFarland kept cropping up, and fantastic singer, just a fantastic
Absolutely,
singer.
yes, yeah. I've seen the two of you together. It's a brilliant evening.
Yeah, and we generally try and do a tour early part of the year, and then maybe back end of the year we do something after the family stuff's all finished. But yeah, we were asked in 2013, I think we went over to Ireland and did some stuff, because it was people were booking us for the sort of the Irish side and the English side traditional songs, and there's a lot of crossover on those, and that went down really well. So we started doing some over there, some over here, and then we started going on clubs, festivals, so we did quite a bit.
Oh, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
There was one song, is it The Children of the Earth?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did that on...
I did that on Not Before Time.
Not Before Time.
A song written by Brian Pearson, fantastic song. It's a song, the subject matter is from the Peasants' Revolt, 1381, 61. Mm. And it's just another fantastically written song. The written songs on here, the writers are absolutely fantastic. But yeah, Brian was a part of the critics group.
All right.
And it's another song that I first heard Roy Bailey sing. It's just a mind-blowing song, you know. It's just the subject was close to me heart, and
it's like the voice of the people and against social injustice.
Absolutely, and a lot of the John Ball speech of the time. There's a few lines that Brian's put into the song which are taken from that speech. It's just a fantastic song. Another one.
We are the children of the earth, the tillers of the soil, the heirs of hunger and of dearth, born to an ending toil, born to an ending toil. We work the fields from early light, bound by an iron law, and when we stumble home at night, we sleep among the straw, the unremembered poor. When darkness falls, we take our rest. We rise before the dawn, and day after day until we die, we labour, we are born to poverty and scorn.
We were talking earlier about like songs that sound as if they were traditional but were like contemporary writers, and I think I'd like, for my choice, to talk about Work the Black Seam, which I've heard you sing and I've heard the family sing.
Yeah.
And after reading the notes, I couldn't believe that had been written by Sting.
Good friend Sting. Yeah, it's. I first heard it sung by Swan Arcade.
All right.
And it is a very. It could have come from the Durham coalfield, you know, for coal mine sing. But he wrote it around about 1984 for just after the mine strike, and it was sort of his disgust really at the way they were treated, and the way that the government were hell bent on going towards nuclear power, and just doing away with our own. power at the time. So I spoke to Sting. I said, I'm going to do the song. I sent him the song, and he said, "Oh, it's fantastic, you know." And then he was telling us about why he wrote it and what have you. So it's a song I would have done anyway, but because we got to know Sting over the last 5 years or so, it was quite easy to approach him and say, "I fancy doing this."
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, please make sure this isn't your last album.
No, I try not to.
Yeah.
You never know, do you? So I just put a lot of time into it. So.
Well, that's great. Well, thanks ever so much
No,
for chatting with us.
Tony.
It's been absolutely marvellous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
See you later.
This place has changed for good. Your economic theory said it would. It's hard for us to understand. We can't give up our jobs the way we should. Our blood has stained the coal. We tunneled deep inside the nation's soul. We matter more than pounds and pence. Your economic theory makes no sense. One day in a nuclear age, they may understand our rage. Build machines that they can't control and bury the waste in a great big hole. Power to become cheap and clean. Grimy faces were never seen, but deadly for 12,000 years. Carbon 14. We work the black seam together. The seam lies underground. 3 million years of pressure packed it down. We walk through ancient forest lands and light 1,000 cities with our hands. Your dark satanic mills have made redundant all our mining skills. You can't exchange a 6-inch band for all the poison streams in Cumberland. One day in a nuclear age, they may understand our rage. Build machines that